Welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at how we can do some of the examples of our outer joins on different data sets. We're going to be using mostly the stuff inside the student schema out of Oracle by example by Alice Richert, but we're also doing one of the ones I've built from an example using the Mongo database. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. As you can see, I've got a couple different demonstrations we're looking at right here. And so we have the self join / outer, and then a right outer, and then working with a customer set. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the first query. We're going to do on here, you have the self join we did earlier this semester. And I'm doing course.course number, course.description, and then left outer join. Course as prerequisite, left outer join description as prerequisite. This is just however a regular join, just so we can see the results of just the basic self join right here. And when I run that self join right here, I've got 26 rows selected. And again, when we're doing a standard join, you can see that every single row has a corresponding value on the opposite side. Again, that's just the standard approach when we're doing that. However, I want to go ahead and do this example as a outer join as well. And so you have right here, we have the same thing right here. We're going to do a left outer join using that same exact query, only adding the left outer operator to that. So we can do this as a left outer join. And so again, 26 rows selected for our first version. However, when I do it as an outer join, watch what happens. I've got 30 rows selected. And so right here, I have course number 310 has no prerequisite. And so that blank right there is empty. It means there's nothing inside that. Go up here, scroll a bit further. I've got 147, the GUI Design Lab, also no prerequisite for that. And then go up here to 10 and 20, no prerequisites for either of those. So I have 4 classes that had no prerequisite that were not included in my previous example of only 26 rows, because on an equijoin, you have to have a match-to-match value exactly. However, on an outer join, everything in the left-hand table, that gets it. However, the right table, there might be gaps, and those gaps are represented automatically by nulls. And so that's how we're going to make that happen, so we can actually get those values out of there and see some information. Again, one of the powers of using an outer join, it allows us to identify some patterns and or use negative space to guide us, just like we can use in art. I can focus my mind on something because I see a gap there, and it lets me ask more questions and figure out what the data is telling us. So it's a cool thing we can do. Let's go one step further with this same query. And so collapse that down. And we're going to do that same exact query, but now we're going to use the magic power of our case statement. And so we're using the case operator or case statement right here. Same exact query that we're working with, but I'm using a case when left outer join.course number is null, then I'll put not applicable, and then case when left outer join.description is null, I'll put none. So that's going to replace this empty value right here with none, and that's a great way I can use my results so I can provide a better description to someone else when they're seeing this, because if they see a blank, they may not know what that actually means. And so again, we can use the case operator to properly give information as to what's going to be happening with that. So let's run this same query right here on the other approach. So we'll grab and select this query. And so we're in the same query again, now right here, and now I have a not applicable for my lovely thing. And since I ordered it by course number, I've got that lovely organization right here, and so I've got a not applicable right here, scroll up right here, another not applicable, and scroll up right here, not applicable right there. So I have that information. So I can use that case to take and coalesce information in a way that can make it more usable for human eyeballs to see, because they might not know that an empty gap means something special. And so we can give that information right here, the not applicable. They can say, oh, it didn't print out wrong or something like that. I actually know it's supposed to be there. And so we can use this information in a more effective way by using something like a case statement to provide extra information so that the people who are viewing the data know what's happening. So again, that's a great way we can go beyond and do more stuff with that. All right, our next one, let's go ahead and clear those out. And we'll scroll down here again. And we're going to do a right outer join. So right outer join is the same basic approach, but instead what we're going to do, we're going to grab the information from the right table first and match it to the gaps on the left. So my example right here, I have stu.firstname, stu.lastname, and zip.city, joining the zip and student fields right here. So I'll grab that information and play it. And boom, I've got 268 rows. All my students have associated cities matched right up to them. Good job. However, when I use that same query right here, and I'm going to do it instead as a regular join, but using a right outer join, again, using that same exact on clause to match that value, I'm going to grab that information right here. I'm going to select the clause and hit play. And 350 rows. OMG. It's insane, I know. But look at all this. I've got nothing, nothing, nothing. There are all students in New York. Wait, there's New York. Oh, there's all the other New Yorks that we have because there's different zip codes that are attached to it. New Hyde Park, nobody in there. Nobody. Oh my gosh. Oh, here's some people here. Adrian Lopez is in Cliffside Parks. We finally have someone that's actually in there. And so we can have the idea that with that right outer join, we're taking the information in this right table. It has all the data we want, but the left table, in this case, student, has gaps. And that's where we see the gaps right here when we're looking at where somebody's not living. So we can identify that information right there as well. So collapse those two down as well. And let's go take a look at the customer table. So here we have an example right here. I've got an exporter name, product name. exporters, and I'm going to join that to cells products SP, and I'm going to match it using that associative table on the SP's cells IDs, matching the export destination code. And again, this is one of the reasons why we have to make sure we're working with not using the natural join or just an implicit idea, because values can have different names across tables, so we have to make sure we don't assume that automatically. And so we'll grab that query right here, and we'll run this one, getting some information about our orders table. And here we have our exporter name, and we've got reader. She ordered some Serrano chilies. Graham Mitchell ordered some sprouts. Albert Chan has got some collard greens and eggplant, great vegetables, yummy stuff to eat, wonderful things. I ordered rutabaga. Why? I don't know, but that's okay. So we have that structure right there. Let's go ahead and do that same query now, but using an outer join demonstration with that. And so again, I've got two joins right here, then I'm left outer join that onto exporters. So I'll grab that same thing right here, grab the information, and I'm going to run that query again. And now I've got 26 rows, and for some unknown reason, nobody's ordering lime. I know, limes are amazing. Dragon fruit too, they look really cool. They might taste like kiwis, but they look amazing, but no one ordered them. And so that left outer join has these gaps right here because Chan's got collard greens and eggplants, but nothing else is up here. Oh, O'Shaughnessy, they've got their carrots. Yummy stuff. Lopez, he's got green apples and purple carrots. He's a great man and great food. Wonderful taste. Oh, he also has carrots. Yummy stuff. And then Rio Galanos, apples and purple carrots too, because she's amazing too. And that's where we've got that lovely stuff. We've got all that information. We have that gap right here. Nobody's ordered lime. And so again, this is how we can use the idea of using the outer join to identify information or patterns that don't normally get seen when we're looking at a standard join, because we don't know who doesn't have something. And so by providing an outer join, we're able to actually look at that and find more information about that. And so that's some cool stuff we can do. We've got one last one we're going to take a look at right here. This is a bit more of an example. And this is an outer join with subqueries and aggregates and using the case clause. So let's go take a look at this statement really fast. It's a pretty complex query. So we have select prod.product name. I'm going to use a case statement again. And so if my result right here is null, then 0, because I'm using right here, I have an inner subquery, and that's going to get my count. If there's not a match inside that because the outer join has an empty set of values, then I want to take that null, I'm going to give a 0 on there. Otherwise, I'm going to go by my actual cells count, and so I'm using a case statement so I can actually grab that information and share it with the user, again, making it so the information is not just blank, but I can actually have information from this, and it helps my users out. And so I'm going to grab that select query right here and run it right there. So play that query, 0.09 seconds. I know, it's so fast. And now, oh look, nobody has ordered sweet red peppers or corn. But why? They're amazing. I love sweet red peppers. Cucumbers, no one. Zucchini, no one. Blueberries. Why has nobody ordered blueberries? Well, that's pretty weird. And again, we already saw that no one had dragon fruit. We've got one order for dragon fruit. Parsnip, no one's ordered that. Whoa, weird. Oranges, nobody there. Strawberries, nobody there. Raspberries, no one there. This is something we have to definitely take a look at. And so we have to use this information. We can identify what's going on. And by identifying that information within there, we can say, oh, here's why these things aren't happening. And so we can use that information, again, by using the idea of combining a case statement, using that so we can resolve what happens with a null, because that inner subquery, we can grab information and explain something with that and make something happen. And so again, let me pull this screen down so you can see that query a little bit more example. We have our subquery right here, so I can grab that subquery, and that count will get the total amount of cells for each of those different products, how many times that product has been sold. Not the actual quantity though, it could be a different value. And then we're going to have that right here, grab that product ID, matching all the different amount of cells that have. And so all the products that have any cells to it will get matched with this. And then I join it onto here. As long as that total cells, if it's null, then I'm going to put a 0 there instead of leaving it as a blank value, because blanks don't usually help humans when they're looking at information. And they may help computers, might help our result set, but right here we want to make sure we can display it for humans so they can use it in a way that's helpful to them. And so again, an outer join allows us to maintain and figure out patterns inside data so we can use them in more effective ways. I hope this is helpful and you can figure out some more information. Hope this is a great way to learn about outer joins. Cheers and have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.